Today, children will be with us in the sanctuary to hear a story before heading off to their activities of the morning. The family room is just to the left at the back of the sanctuary, and it has audio of the service piped in for parents and children who might need that. And care is also available in the nursery on the lower level for infants and children through age 5. By greeting our virtual neighbors, we build a bridge between online and in-person participants. First, we'll project on our screen the image of folks who are currently on Zoom, and if you're comfortable doing so, please turn on your cameras and give us a wave. Now, we who are gathered here in the sanctuary are invited to turn and face the camera in the back and give the folks on Zoom a wave. If you're with us in person today, we invite you to join us after service for coffee and conversation in Hodas Hall, which is located to the left after you exit the sanctuary. Our newcomer table is a place where visitors and newcomers can meet and chat with members of the congregation and with each other. All are encouraged to drop by, just look for the colorful sign. And today we are celebrating May birthdays. So if your birthday is in May and you'd like to come up and be sung to and say a few words, you can do that during coffee hour, and we'll have cupcakes. And if you're with us on Zoom, we invite you to stay on the call after service ends for a virtual coffee hour. Wherever, however, and whenever we connect with BUC, we are building this beloved community.
The campus of Birmingham Unitarian Church occupies the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Anishinaabe Council of Three Fires, the Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples. Bloomfield Hills is situated on land ceded in the 1807 Treaty of Detroit. We acknowledge Michigan's 12 federally recognized Native nations, as well as historic indigenous communities in Michigan. We also acknowledge those who were forcibly removed from their homelands, as well as indigenous individuals and communities who live here now. We affirm indigenous sovereignty, history, and experiences.
Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life. Now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing Be That Guide, which is hymn 124 in the hymnal. From our very first breath, we reach out. We find our cues from the sun and the moon, from each parent and caregiver. We find our place in this great turning planet by turning to one another, generation to generation. We awaken to the dawn and fall asleep at the evening's end. Our life's journey is part of something greater, something simple, something divine. A flame cannot be lit without a spark. A life cannot begin without the air, and we cannot begin to find ourselves without love. May we reach out to one another. May we offer love and nurturing care. May we join together in celebration of the interdependence of our lives.
So we'd like to invite our parents, Jessica Newman and Kevin Kozlowski, Hannah and Alex Kelly, and Jess and James Casolari to come forward with your children to be dedicated and blessed. And I'd like to invite all of our other children and youth today to come forward and have a seat in the chairs here in the front row, or if you'd like, you can sit on the floor, but you have a special part in this as well. You can come on all the way up.
I see some youth in the back there. Perhaps you'd like to come up and get a closer view, and there's a response for you as part of this ceremony, too. I know you get to see these babies fairly often, but I think you enjoy seeing them, too. In this ceremony, we recognize both possibility and responsibility that are born with every child. The possibility and hope that the world may be enriched by their lives, and the responsibility and challenge with which each of us are charged to provide guidance and nurture for the children for whom we hold the future in trust.
All right, so Jess and Kevin, what have you named this child?
This is Blaze. This is Blaze Newman, Blaze Stanley Newman. The name Blaze is a family name, although a very old one. Not that I knew Blaze Kozlowski, but Stanley, his middle name, is my father. So.
Wonderful. And then, what have we named this child?
So this is Stella Eugenia Newman, who's named after two of our grandmothers. So Stella was Kevin's grandmother, and then Eugenia was my beloved Baba, who just passed away at 99. Yeah. I got to meet Stella.
Yay. Blaze and Stella, your parents' hopes are for you to live long and happy lives, that you grow in strength and wisdom and compassion, that you remain constantly curious and develop a love of truth and beauty, that you will both have the opportunity for humility and patience to listen deeply to others and the confidence to trust your own judgment. When loneliness and grief do appear, we hope you will always have friends and family in those whose love you can find shelter and whose warmth reminds you of what a gift it is to be alive. All right, Hannah and Alex, what have you named this child?
This is Magnolia St. Kelly. We chose Magnolia because I really, really loved it, and that's about it.
All right, wonderful. And Magnolia, your parents' hopes for you are to be bold and brave in whatever you do. They hope you find friendship, joy, and love on all of your future adventures. As a bonus hope, they hope you will enjoy time in nature with animals.
Hello. Okay. This is Enzo Banks Castellari. Similarly, we just named him Enzo because we liked it, but it does pay homage to his Italian heritage on my husband's side. Banks comes from a song by Need to Breathe that we really liked. It symbolizes the bank of a river. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Wonderful. Well, Enzo, your parents' hopes for you are to be kind, resourceful, curious, and content.
I'm looking for Blaze. Is he around here someplace? Okay, a breather. I can understand that. I can understand that. So to Blaze, Stella, Magnolia, and Enzo, we give you each a rose. Symbol of our hope that just as this flower unfolds in beauty, so too will you grow and blossom and reach a fullness of spirit that will bring joy to you and to those who care for you. We dedicate your lives to all that is real, loving, and good. We wish for you a life full in faith, strong in courage, rich in affections, and radiant in hope. May your life be filled with adventure and increased by wisdom. Now, parents, I have some questions for you. Do you commit yourselves to be as wise and loving as you are able, so that your child will have instruction and benefit from you? Say yes. Do you promise to help your children find their own special strengths to face the world and to live bravely and well? Yes. As parents, you have the joyful, difficult, and sacred responsibility to teach your children the ways of the world, the meaning of love, the worth of individuality, and the courage of growth. Do you accept and embrace this charge?
Yes. You who are dedicated and blessed today are part of a community of children, youth, and adults who can be part of your lives as you grow up. And so a question for our children and youth who are present: if you promise to play and learn with these children as they grow up, please say, "Yes, we do."
Just as we as a congregation dedicate these young lives to humanity and to all that is good, we dedicate ourselves to these children and to all the world's children. Please join in reading the words projected on the screen.
Parents of these children, we pledge our support. To you, our young lives before us, we pledge our caring, our wisdom, and our trust. We bless you and are blessed by your presence among us. We promise to keep our hearts open to you and to do our best to see and hear you truly. On this day, we rededicate ourselves to building a world ever more worthy of your gifts of life and hope.
It is a blessing to have all of these children among us. These children belong to all of us, and they are the present and the future of this congregation.
Thank you. And at this time, we'll have our slightly older children and youth join us at the back of the sanctuary as we head off to Ari.
mission of Birmingham Unitarian Church is to be a free and welcoming religious community that encourages lives of integrity, learning, service, and joy. One way we live out this mission is by giving half of our weekly offering to a nonprofit organization that shares our values and addresses needs in the community. Our recipient this month is Michigan's Liberation's Black Mama Bailout Project. Cash bail criminalizes poverty and keeps 8,000 Michiganders in jail every night, simply because they can't afford bail. Very often, this is for nonviolent charges, such as traffic offenses and theft. In the month of May, during which we honor mothers, the nonprofit organization Michigan Liberation requests our donations for their Black Mamas Bailout Initiative. This money is used to post bail for mothers who are caught in the discriminatory cash bail practice. When the person appears in court on their scheduled day, the bail money is returned and gets used again for another person's bailout. This organization is dedicated to achieving peace, wellness, and justice for Black and brown communities in Michigan. Help free mothers to return home to their children and their lives. Our ushers will now receive this morning's offering, which is given and received in spirit of generosity and gratitude. We, with gratitude, dedicate this offering to the good work of our congregation and Michigan Liberation's Black Mama Bailout Project.
If prayer worked like magic, if I knew the words that would guarantee prayer's power, I know what I would pray. Let life be always kind to our children. Let sorrow not touch them. Let them be free from fear. Let them never suffer injustice, nor the persecutions of the righteous. Let them not know the pain of failure, of a project, a love, a hope, or a dream. Let life be to them gentle and joyful and kind. If I knew the formula, that's what I'd pray. But prayer isn't magic, and life will sometimes be hard. So I pray for our children with some hope for this prayer. May their knowledge of sorrow be tempered with joy. May their fear be well balanced by courage and strength. May the sight of injustice spur them to just actions. May their failures be teachers, that their spirits may grow. May they be gentle and joyful and kind. Then their lives will be magic, and life will be good. We hold each other in our hearts and minds with all our joys and all our sorrows. The joys and sorrows of the congregation that are shared with us this morning are these. From Art Hillman, a sorrow. He says, my oldest living sister passed away this Wednesday. Lizzie Hillman Wills was assigned my mentor, as my family did after 10 of 14 children. He will be in Tennessee for the services next week. From Kelly Taylor, my mom passed away on Friday evening from cancer. She died peacefully in her sleep. Please send thoughts and prayers to their family. From Larry Larson, I'm grateful for my loving mother who gave me life. Happy Mother's Day. And more joys. Enzo is going to be a big brother. The Castellari family is expecting another baby in the fall. I think this one is from proud grandparents. Joy Abigail Schreck, who grew up in this church, graduated from the University of Michigan with honors, 3 majors, and an Angel Scholar this past weekend. She is awesome, say her proud grandparents, yes. We remember those experiencing losses and those facing health challenges. As we joyfully celebrate Mother's Day and honor those who have mothered us, let us remember too that this is a difficult day for those who have lost mothers and those who have lost children, for those whose mothers or children are absent. We pray in whatever way we pray for all those affected by war, by hatred and violence. We pray for peace. The cares of the world are many. Even when the cares of the world weigh on us, may we find joy in our connections with each other and in the pleasures that life holds. Let us take care of one another and ourselves in all the ways we can. Let us make this a safe and welcoming place for all. As we hold each other in our hearts and minds, with all our joys and all our sorrows, let's take a moment to be quiet together. Now please join in singing Building Bridges. With no apologies to Shel Silverstein's Giving Tree, this is The Nurturing Tree by Jerry Wright. Once there was a boy who really enjoyed a tree. He enjoyed the roughness of its bark when he climbed it. He enjoyed the springiness of its branches when he swung on them. He enjoyed the crackle, the smell, and the pillowy feeling of its leaves when he gathered them in a big pile and jumped into them, right in the fall of the year. He enjoyed the crunch and tart taste of its apples when he bit into the ripe fruit. And when the sun was hot, he enjoyed sitting in its shade, leaning against its sturdy trunk, thinking about all the things he hoped to do and have and be as he grew older. The tree enjoyed the boy too. He enjoyed watching him grow stronger, able to do more things. She enjoyed his company. She enjoyed being useful. But there came a long time when the boy stayed away. Then one day he returned and he said to the tree, "I need some money." And the tree said, "Well, money doesn't grow on trees, but apples do, and you're welcome to gather my apples and sell them for money." The tree was delighted to have the boy climbing about, gathering the apples she had grown. She enjoyed his company, and she enjoyed feeling useful. But then the boy stayed away for a long time again. One bright sunny day, the tree saw him coming toward her older, now a young man, and she was very happy. She really enjoyed his company. She enjoyed that he was bigger and looked stronger than when she had seen him last. "I want a house," he told the tree. "A house to live in and raise a family. Will you give me your wood?" "I'll give you a few of my branches," she said, "and you may ask my neighbors for some of theirs. If I gave you all of my branches, I'd have nothing to support my leaves. Without leaves, turn sunlight and water into food, I would die. But as long as you take only a few of my limbs, I can grow others. So you're welcome to a few.
The young man thanked the tree and chose a few of her branches to make into lumber for his house. He also asked her neighbors, who gave him a few branches here and there until he had enough. Then he built his house, and he enjoyed it, and he was gone for several years. Until one day, the tree recognized him coming toward her, a man in his middle years now, looking healthy and having good energy, and he said to the tree, "I've been thinking that I'd like to have a boat to sail on the lake, and I'd like to have your trunk to use for the hull." The tree liked the man very much, had liked him since he was small, climbing her trunk and diving into piles of her leaves. But she liked herself too, and she said, "I like you a lot. I've enjoyed you for years. But I have a good reason to say no to your request. First, if I gave you my trunk, I would die. And while I like to give of myself and feel useful, I know better than to give myself away. Secondly, I've noticed that you only come around when you want something for yourself. Other than that, I never see you. Still, that doesn't mean you can't have a boat. You don't have to make a boat out of wood. Fiberglass is a wonderful material for building a boat. Build yourself a boat of fiberglass and come visit me from time to time." At first, the man wasn't happy about the tree's response. Always before, she had given him at least some of what he had asked for. But then she was right. He did only come to see her when he wanted something. And fiberglass was a perfectly good material to use for building a boat. The more he thought about it, he realized that at first he and the tree had been giving each other something, but that as time had gone by, the tree had been doing almost all of the giving, and he had been doing almost all of the taking. He decided to take his children to play in or around the tree. He also bought some seedlings, and he showed his children how to plant them so that the seedlings would grow up to keep the tree company. Like all living things, the tree grew older and older and finally died, and the keepers of the forest cut her down, leaving only her stump. The man grew older too and returned to the tree one day, only to discover that nothing was left of her but her stump. She could offer no shade to sit in, no sturdy trunk to lean against, only her stump to sit upon. So the old man sat. He thanked her for being there when he was a boy, allowing him to climb her sturdy trunk, bounce among her pringy branches, eat her crisp tart apples, and pounce into the piles of her fallen leaves. He thanked her for the shade she had provided and for being there to lean upon when he just wanted a place to think thoughts and dream dreams. He thanked her too for the limbs she spared him for building his house. And then he thought some more, and he thanked her most of all for setting limits and saying no, for only allowing him to have some of her limbs, not so many as would have damaged her, and for telling him no when he wanted her trunk, which would have killed her. He also thanked her for pointing out that he had fallen into a habit of thinking only of himself, coming around only when he wanted something from her. He thought a long time. When it came time for the old man to go, he patted the stump and he said, "Thanks for liking yourself as well as you liked me. I think that liking yourself enough to tell me no was the best gift you ever gave me."
The opening line of an essay by D.W. Winnicott, the child development expert who developed the concept of the good enough mother, was, to begin with, you will be relieved to know that I am not going to be telling you what to do. I am no expert on parenting, and in my remarks this morning, I am definitely not going to be telling you what to do. I have some experience of raising children, and I have some knowledge of the theories of child raising. I read a few books, a few articles. I developed my own theories and didn't always follow them either. When I look at my offspring now, I wonder how they've managed to turn out so well. I'm aware of things I did wrong, things I wish I'd done, things I didn't do, things I didn't buy, times I yelled at them, even times I gave a smack on a sturdy little leg, despite my firm belief that spanking is never the answer. One thing I did right through it all is that I've loved them fiercely and completely. Each of my children got themselves in a little trouble along the way. They each resolved those problems with a little help here and there, and they learned from them. None of my children was a perfect child any more than I have been a perfect parent. They've grown into adults, now all 40-ish, adults who are self-motivated and are well on the way to figuring out what they want to do with their lives, which is, of course, the process of a lifetime. I not only love them, I also like them, and they like each other, which was always one of my greatest hopes for them, and was not always the case in their growing up years. We read about a multiplicity of theories and practices of parenting. We've heard about dragon mothers, helicopter parents, snowplow parents. We've heard about attachment parenting and free-range parenting. For me, the idea of being a good enough parent has a great deal of appeal. D.W. Winnicott, first a pediatrician and then a child psychiatrist and psychoanalytic theorist, introduced his concept of the good enough mother in 1953, which was the year before I was born. Maybe that has something to do with the way I was raised. Winnicott famously said that there's no such thing as a baby, because the baby cannot exist without its environment and the care of others. Winnicott also pointed out that each baby is a going concern, and each has a vital spark which impels it toward life. He said growth and development are born into the infant and carried forward in a way that he said we do not have to understand. He likens the infant to a bulb in a window box and observes that you do not have to make the bulb grow into a daffodil. With fertile soil and the right amount of water and light, the life in the bulb develops. He emphasizes that it is wrong to try to mold an infant as you would a piece of clay, because then you feel responsible for the result. He observes if you can accept this idea of a baby as a going concern, you are then free to get a lot of interest out of looking to see what happens in the development of the baby while you are enjoying responding. The good enough mother, according to Winnicott, starts off with an almost complete adaptation to her infant's needs, and as time proceeds, she adapts less and less completely, gradually, according to the infant's growing ability to deal with her failure. This decreasing adaptation to the infant's needs allows the infant to increasingly tolerate the results of frustration. Thus, the good enough mother, the good enough parent, is not a mediocre parent, but a parent who is good enough to meet the child's needs, including the child's need to develop independence and to be challenged as well as nurtured. The good enough parent is more like the nurturing tree than the giving tree. The family is what developmental theorist Robert Kegan calls the embeddedness culture for the child, serving to hold on, let go, and stick around so that the individual can be reintegrated, providing a context out of which individuals repeatedly are recreated. The good enough parent is one who holds on, lets go, and sticks around to nurture and challenge the child in new ways as the child develops. And maybe being merely adequate as a parent is perfect after all. Neither always hands-on nor always hands-off, neither forever attached nor forever detached, the good enough parent responds to what the child needs, which is sometimes to be left to its own devices. And of course, I need to clarify that to me, leaving children to their own devices means leaving them with time to find creative things to do, not leaving them to occupy themselves with devices that are electronic. The good enough parent may be what I have begun to think of as the minimalist parent, providing just enough comfort, just enough challenge. A recent article in the Atlantic magazine by the head of school at Georgetown Day School in Washington, D.C., recommends lighthouse parenting. The author suggests that sometimes the best thing a parent can do is nothing at all. A lighthouse parent, the educator notes, stands as a steady, reliable guide, providing safety and clarity without controlling every aspect of their child's journey. A lighthouse parent sounds to me like a good enough parent, encouraging children to become self-reliant, resilient, and resourceful. The community and the world we live in are the larger embeddedness culture for the family as well as for the individual, providing a context out of which we are repeatedly recreated. Can this religious community be that context of nurture as well as challenge? Can we exercise our interdependence within the context of our relationship to the community and to each other? In a very real sense, we all have a responsibility to be guide parents to all the world's children, to create a world in which all our children, our collective children, can grow and thrive. Now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, hymn number 1008. When we take fire from our chalice, it does not become less, it becomes more. And so we extinguish our chalice, but we take its light and warmth with us, multiplying their power by all of our lives and sharing them with the world. May we live our lives fully and creatively so that we may be a blessing to ourselves, to each other, and to all those whose lives we touch. Please take a moment for reflection as we listen to the postlude.